1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, welcome back to Country and Cold Cans. I'm Logan, sitting here with Trucker Andy and Kyle, and we are actually recording in person for the first time in a while here at the, as Kyle says, the Cold Can studio in his basement.
It is.
Andy's idea. He's in town. He's not on the road.
We might as well convene
Might as well.
in the dark cellars of the basement.
True enough. But so last night,
I think it sounds like a dungeon.
no, he does, doesn't it?
I am being
Even
held-
though it's like well lit, lots of neon signs everywhere, and 2 televisions with sports playing usually.
That's just what they want you to think. I'm being held against my will.
Andy, are you trying to tell us some kink you have?
No, I just
okay.
figured that sounds fun. I find it funny when people are
Yeah,
on the
very
internet
defensive.
and they're like pretend like they're being kidnapped and stuff, like it's jokes.
You watch some dark shit, don't you?
Dungeons and Dragons.
It's a funny joke though, because the listeners don't know what this place looks like.
So you want people on the internet to think you're kidnapped?
It makes them question. It makes them think. Is he kidding? Is he being serious? Who knows?
Man of mystery over here.
Yeah.
Well, either
You
way.
are the one with the dirty mustache that I am.
That is
behind
true.
on.
Mustache March. Andy's rocking a killer stash right now.
I'm late on it. I need to get on it.
I think everybody should. It's coming back.
It's
It's making a
nice.
comeback.
It is.
The mustache is actually back.
It's nice.
I mean, if what's his name? Riley Green was rocking a killer mustache.
Yeah. Zach
For a
Bryan.
while. Zach Bryan's had one. But I'm like we talked about this like a couple episodes ago. I'm worried more that it's gonna be one of those things where we think we're gonna look cool and then we just look weird.
Oh, I'm going to look ridiculous.
But then you might get used to it, and then you're gonna be like, okay, this actually is kind of growing on me. Get it?
I'm sure that's how it goes. Because like a long time before mustaches, people were just
fun.
clean shaven, and I'm sure everybody at the time thought everybody looks better clean shaven.
I wanna
But then
look
it
like
became normal for everybody to have beards, and everybody thought that looked normal.
Yeah. I never thought that I'd see the day the mustaches come back, though. Because, that was the thing back when our dads were young.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody had a mustache. Tom Selleck, Magnum P.I.,
Yeah, they're all 70s
Sam Elliott.
detectives. Yeah, Sam Elliott's still rocking it. He never
Yeah.
changed.
But it's like it's become synonymous with those two.
Jesus and Wranglers are making a comeback.
Hey, there we go. Speaking of Riley Green. But last night, Andy and I went and saw a brand new band from North Carolina called the 1789. Pretty solid stuff. They're playing at a place called Crickets in eastern North Carolina. And they've got 2 songs out on Spotify right now called Diamond Ring and then Whitley County Blues. I've liked what I heard from them, Andy, last night at the show.
Yeah, I did too.
They're really so. I full disclosure, like know the newest member of the band from college, and he was telling me they're all like big Turnpike fans, Red Dirt music fans. This is stuff in Kentucky. It's a lot of the stuff the 3 of us listen to. So I'm interested to see more. We're probably going to try to get them on the show sometime soon. But everybody go check them out. They've got 2 songs out on Spotify and Apple Music called the 1789, and that's the year I think North Carolina was founded.
Yeah, it's on the flag.
Yeah.
It's
It's a cool name.
a good name, yeah.
It's got numbers in it.
Yeah. Then there was another girl that was there that's a local.
Numbers in it.
It's got numbers in it. And then like the opening act at the show, local girl that named Chloe Wilson. She was pretty good too. She played a lot of covers, played 1 original song. I don't think she's got any
played
music
2.
out. Did she play 2
I think
originals?
she played 2.
Okay. So yeah, she was pretty good. I liked her voice. She gave me a lot of like Megan Maroney type vibes with how she was playing.
She did have a good voice.
She had a very good voice. But definitely go follow her and the 1789 on Instagram. I think it's the 1789 official _ and then hers is Chloe Wilson Music.
NC.
Check them out.
I don't think it had,
Is Chloe Wilson Music NC?
I don't think 1789. I think it's just the.
Oh, it's just
I think it's
1789
just
official
1789.
_
I believe.
Okay. Why don't you look that up real quick so we make sure we
We'll
have that
fact
right.
check it.
Yeah, fact check it.
The
Pull it up,
1789.
J-Mo.
They're 1789 official _
Like
That
they say
is
on
correct.
Joe Rogan. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely go check them out. Like I said, not a lot of new original music out yet, but there will be some coming. We heard some of their songs last night. I liked it. Like I said, Diamond Ring is a pretty good song. How would you describe their sound, Andy? I would say like a mix. It's very country.
Yeah.
It's kind of almost the 2 songs they have on Spotify, I think, are like heavily influenced by like the outlaw country era.
Yeah, I'd probably say so.
Yeah.
The guitar throws me off a little bit because it rips and it reminds me of some rock and roll.
Yeah. But I mean, there's good guitar work in country too.
Yeah.
Andy Lake still hates country music.
I mean, maybe a little.
Yeah, he does.
As he's a founder of this podcast.
I like the other kind, guys.
He likes Florida Georgia Line and Sam Hunt.
The other kind. Like Zach Bryan.
Well, Zach Bryan's not that country.
I know. That's my point.
Well, that's what our point is. Andy hates country music.
Yeah, but you said Florida Georgia.
Well, when you said the other kind, I thought you meant like the shittier kind.
No, I mean the better kind.
His idea of country music is Morgan Wallen's song. He loves country music, just dead.
Yeah.
That was his dream, but it wasn't a nightmare.
Yeah.
That's Riley Green.
That was not Riley Green.
That's Morgan Wallen.
You
Not
sure
Morgan
about
Wallen,
that?
fucking Hardy.
Hardy,
excuse me.
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hardy. Did I say Morgan Wallen to start with?
You said
Yeah.
Wallen to start with.
Oh,
Andy
yeah,
said
sorry.
Riley Green.
Yeah, sorry. Brain fart.
It was Hardy.
Yeah, it's Hardy. My apologies. Both of us heard it.
Me and Kyle are doing good here.
All right, let's talk about Mikele Buck Band again. New song from them. Kyle, I think you sent it to us
I
in
did.
the group chat the other day. These guys are straight cooking, dude.
Yeah, their last 7 singles.
Yeah.
EP. Yeah. He hasn't released a bad song
Ever?
ever.
Thing about Mikele Buck Band is that, like, I think we've talked about this like off the air before. I think they are legitimately probably one of the more underrated bands out there right now. With that is like there's like straight up country
Yes.
like band. Like I love the kind of like the straight ahead country, very neo traditional '90s influence on a lot of the music. Like this new song, "Her Again."
It's got some clever phrases in
It
this
does. It does. I think like my favorite line, and I just wrote it down a little while ago, was I promised her I'd love her forever, but never promised her I'd stay.
song. Oh, yeah, fantastic. It's just-
I love that. I know, Andy, like this, you know, we always joke about like you don't like 90s country and everything, but this isn't straight up 90s country, but it's influenced by it. Like, but do you like this?
Yeah. What I actually was surprised, I guess, which is odd for me. Honestly, I like the instrumentation on this more than the lyrics.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like,
love the pedal steel, but
the
that's
pedals,
well
like
documented.
like the banjo and guitar in the background, like the banjo's in the background, I would say for the most part, but like the pedal steel and the electric guitar just sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it
And
does.
there's something as here we have the album art pulled up. I haven't noticed this until now, but I double checked it. All of his like the Mikele Buck Band, like the fonts for all the covers are almost like they're simple. It's like something you'd almost find like a fonts on Microsoft Word. It's like a simplistic thing.
Are you like giving him a compliment here? Or?
Yeah, I'm
trying to
finishing
make-
it. But,
okay.
like it's the simplistic.
He's like, hey, let me finish.
because like
dick.
all of his album covers, like the imagery is like sick. Like it's very quality imagery, but the simplicity of like the font and
Yeah,
the way it's
yeah.
worded, it just really meshes well through it all. I like the simplicity of it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Simple's hard to pull off, and it's pulled off.
No, yeah. Simple
I
is
love
very hard
simple
to pull off.
when it's pulled off.
When it's pulled
My
off, it's
favorite.
the best.
Yes.
It's clean,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's not doing too much.
Yeah, like cause like I don't remember which one. It's the one where he's riding the motorcycle on the album cover.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But like, and then like Mikele Buck is just almost in a plain font. It's like a very good art
Mm-hmm.
with the simplistic lettering.
Is that the EP with Wild Irish Rose on it? Let me double check.
I will say that like this song is right up my alley on what I like sonically and lyrically for that
Oh, it's
matter too.
NKMU, I'm sorry. Yeah.
NKMU, yeah. But like even lyrically for me too, like I love everything about this. Like I want to see him again. I've seen him twice, I think, in concert. But I was listening to Mikele Buck actually a lot earlier today, just going through the his top tracks on Spotify while I was like doing something at the house. And it's so country and it's so good. Like there are a lot of people that we love that we play on here a lot, like Zach Bryan. Not necessarily the most country; it's country adjacent. But and then there are people that are a little bit more on the rock side that we listen to.
Yes.
Think Treaty Oak. We love Treaty Oak.
Co.
Co Wetzel, another one, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But Mikele Buck Band is very, very good, but they're also very, very country.
Yes.
It's kind of like almost, Andy, what the genesis of this podcast was when we used to talk a lot more about the country stuff before incorporating some more of the roots rock kind of stuff that we've gotten into recently. But
Yeah, Red Dirt, Texas Red Dirt
And he's a Red Dirt fan.
Yeah, but like when we first started, I guess rock did become much more popular in Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, it did.
Since
I mean,
then.
Co was in his like
infancy
of becoming really popular back then. So all the bands that have been influenced by Co's success, weren't necessarily a thing yet. Because we've talked about before our love of Red Dirt, and one of the songs I sent y'all earlier in the week was one with
Wade Bowen,
Randy Rogers, Pat Green, and Casey Donahue. There was like the heavyweights from that era of Red Dirt and Texas country that we used to listen to. That song I have a soft spot for, that era of Texas and Red Dirt music. But I do know that, like, because he's referenced it, Mikele Buck's referenced it in some of his songs before about Red Dirt. And then you and I had a conversation with him when he opened for Parker many years ago at City Limits Saloon, RIP to that bar, about how we had similar taste in music with him. And
I've seen him 3 times then.
I've seen him 3 times then, yeah.
We saw him in Greenville after.
It's true.
Was it Jordan's wedding? He was there?
No, it wasn't Jordan's wedding. That was years before Jordan got married.
Okay. Yeah. We saw him in Greenville one time.
Because he played at PB's, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
We saw him at PB's. We saw him at Weldon Mills. And then Andy and I saw him at City Limits.
Yep.
Opening for Parker.
Yep, that's right.
He puts on a good show.
College then,
he puts on a real good show.
That's right. Yep.
But yeah, I definitely, again, another one of those guys that if you don't know Mikele Buck, because I know a lot of people in North Carolina do, because a lot of our friends who don't listen to the same music as us, they do know Mikele Buck because he's played the circuit around here, of like college towns everybody's hung out in. But like if you're not from North Carolina, you don't know him that well, do yourself a favor and check him out because fantastic music.
I believe he's originally from West Virginia, but he claims Greenville.
Yeah.
Or Greenville area.
Because I think he used to, if I'm not mistaken, he used to be in concert. He'd be like, we're from Greenville, North Carolina, by way of West by God, Virginia.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. But definitely check out Mikele Buck and check out this song, Her Again. Like, he's been on a heater with his singles he's been releasing.
He's not low on gas. He's all, I fucked that up. I thought I had a clever line. I just ruined it. Yep. Not good at the punchlines.
All right, and speaking of, like we said, Co Wetzel released a teaser. It was probably about 30 seconds for a new song called Damn Near Normal.
27, I believe.
27 seconds?
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram.
I gotcha. But called Damn Near Normal. He's got new music coming out. I think this song drops next week. On
March 8th.
So that'd be Friday.
Yes.
And this next record is supposed to be a much countrier album, and my theory on this after listening to this, I want to get y'all's takes on the song specifically, the clip of it, but also my idea here. I think that this record is going to be a lot countryer, but I think that this sounds almost like a mainstream adjacent country song because so many of his fans have been used to rock and roll Co. You know what I mean? With a little bit of country mixed in. I think, you know how big stars and big artists release probably the more like the easier to listen to song first as a lead single, and then you get into more of the nitty gritty as the record drops. I think that's what we're seeing here. This one isn't like a hardcore country tune, but it doesn't sound as rock and roll as what we've been hearing from him. This sounds a little bit more mainstream adjacent type country music.
Maybe to an this sounds in the Coda realm. This would fit on Out on Parole.
Yeah, and that was also his countryest record he put out.
I was gonna say it sounds a lot like old.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like original, but like Out on Parole was well before he exploded with Noise Complaint.
Yeah,
so it's not as
is that
in the
15.
Out on Parole, I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so because Noise Complaint was 2017.
Yeah.
But but with Damn Near Normal, Andy, with the chorus, it kind of sounded, the chorus, the melody to it, and the instrumentation choices kind of sounded a little bit like you said, like that era of Texas country music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Texas country from that like time period definitely was a good mix of like country, but a little bit of rock and roll. Yeah. But it wasn't straight up in your face rock and roll like we had become used to for the last 2 to 4 records. Like Out on Parole, good comparison, I would say.
Yeah, I think this is one that at first I wasn't huge on the clip, so that generally means I'm going to love it.
That's how you were with Co in general. Like, I remember I sent him to you, and you were like, "I don't know if I like this guy," and then a month later, Andy's like, "Yeah, I dig it."
When I first heard it, like I love this is my kind of writing.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad boy writing. It's my thing.
Yeah, and for context on that, like the songs basically sounds like it's his life being out on the road and how many substances he's using.
Yeah.
And how it's out of the ordinary for people, but it's damn near normal to him.
Yeah.
All the Xanax, all the weed, I think is what
At first,
said
my
in there.
thought was that I like the vocal melody and the instrumentation melody. I like them both, but I didn't think they mixed very well. But my opinion's changing on that already.
Yeah, well, I told Logan before you got here and we listened to it, the latter half of that clip, I'm much more intrigued than the first.
When he got
15
into the
seconds.
chorus?
Yeah.
The first 15 seconds I was. The only criticism is there's one line that I think doesn't make sense if I heard it correctly. Smokes 10 times the weed of a sober man. I graduated high school 10 times divided by 0, or multiplied by 0 is always still 0.
Or maybe the normal man
If he's
smokes
sober,
like a joint a week or something.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
you're sober.
it is 2024. A lot of people like the weed.
yeah, but he said a sober man. That's what I was thinking. Sober
Yeah.
means you don't have it at all.
That also depends on who you talk to. There are people who
That's
say
fair.
they're sober and then they take weed gummies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
People
That's
that act
fair.
like sober is only like talking about alcohol.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that.
But I'm excited to hear this song in its totality next Friday, this upcoming week.
6 more sleeps.
That's what they say. 6 more sleeps till new co. All right, next up, we did have a new song from Morgan Wade called 2 a.m. in London. This one was a little bit more of a stripped back affair and a little bit more rootsy than her last record. Her last record, she leaned definitely more into the pop realm than she probably had on her first album. Everything, I liked this song a lot. Everything from the album cover, the album cover and the lyricism both kind of painted this picture of being homesick and feeling isolated. It's like she's presumably, in her case, her being an artist, like she's on tour across the pond in London. And the thing that I appreciated the most probably was painting the picture of how she asked them to remove the minibar ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because she's sober and she didn't want to have the temptation of that being in the room late at night while she's isolated and by herself and maybe dealing with some issues.
She's homesick without the vices of her past.
Yeah, yeah. And, then the line in there about it's a perfect time to, like, get into trouble or whatever exactly she said, but she doesn't do that stuff anymore. I liked, this is a kind of a very mature song of someone who has had issues and demons in the past and then they've gotten to the other side, but yet you still have those same issues of, like I said, she's isolated, she's homesick, but she's also by herself and doesn't want to fall into old habits.
Yeah, this song really reminds. I easily could have seen B.J. Barnum being associated with this.
Yeah, yeah.
The steel guitar too, like at the end of it, sounds like American Aquarium Live.
Right.
That it has that sound. It's got like a little bit of a writing aspect. It sounds familiar to like Things Change B.J. Barnum.
Yeah.
But from a female perspective.
Right. And this is a topic you could hear BJ easily sing.
Their past aren't all that different.
No, it's not.
That's why it's
a good point.
It's interesting to hear.
It is, and I like these types of songs. But like let's look at you. Kyle's got it pulled up on the TV here. Like, look at the album cover too. The album cover, as I alluded to earlier, really does fit the vibe of the lyric or what the lyrics are saying. She's sitting there basically. There's just a white background. She's sitting there on the floor, like kind of almost holding her knees with one hand and her hand in her hair on the other. You were talking about like the album cover for Mikele Buck. I think this one really fits the song for this single cover.
It's nice that when people put effort into single covers,
Yes,
not
I
just
agree.
album covers.
I agree. Because I mean, at this point you ought to, because everything's digital now
Everything's a single,
and it's got a cover.
and it's re-released and re-released and re-released.
I know. Look, we don't disagree with you. It's just a modern music marketplace.
Yeah, I'll be annoyed with the song by the time the album comes out. It'll be on the A side, B side, and then it'll be on the LP and the EP, and then a single with 4 songs on it. Somehow that's a single. But
Well,
anyway,
that aside for
That
your
aside,
your
yes.
future disdain for it,
Thank you.
how do you feel
Thank
about
you.
it right now?
thank you for coming to my TED Talk. My TED Talk. No, I really like it. There's a lot of songs, and I don't know if something's wrong with me, because when I go to sleep, I just go to sleep. My mind doesn't race. It doesn't run.
Oh, you're lucky.
It just shuts off. It says time to go night night. And I just go to sleep. I mean, maybe something's wrong with me.
No, I think you're the normal one.
I think you're the normal one. Those of us that are like Morgan Wade, guilty. That's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, I've just never. I guess I'm glad it doesn't run in race, but it just. And like I said, it's a.
Kyle's like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you just go to sleep?
That's what I tell myself sometimes.
Just stop thinking.
It just shuts off. Do you think she's implying marriage when she says, I believe it's like lock this love or give you all my heart?
I don't know if she's implying marriage, but I mean, there is a relationship.
Yeah. I mean, just.
Monogamy, maybe?
Yeah, monogamy.
Sure, yeah.
Agree.
Facebook official.
I ain't gonna lie, I've used some like fancy words tonight. I'm a little proud of myself.
Using
Have
some
you
school
been
words.
listening to the thesaurus on Spotify? Somebody just reads the
No,
thesaurus.
they're just coming out of me. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Andy's like vocabulary is
Just
just
nailed out of a
it
ninth
just
grade book.
improves when he's doing an in-person podcast.
I'm not gonna lie, monogamy and vices of your past aren't all that fancy, but it's pretty fancy for me.
Look, admittedly, they're not, but we'll give you your flowers.
Can I have something other than flowers?
I don't know what is that. We'll give you your 6-pack of Busch Light.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll bring you 24 roses.
All right, now from Morgan to Megan. Megan Maroney had a new song a few weeks ago, too, that we had tossed about in the group chat called No Caller ID. First thing that immediately jumped out to me on this one was how high in the mix the pedal steel was. Absolutely love that.
We're burning up some steel guitar tonight.
Dude, steel guitar is the best. By far. It's the best. And the fact that it's back on the radio is awesome. But this song rocks.
Yeah.
Like sitting there, she's has kind of moved on, getting on the bright side of her problems from what appears to be a toxic relationship, as they say, and she's doing well. She's seeing a stand-up guy, she says, but then late at night, what's that? No caller ID. She doesn't have to answer. She knows who it is. It's the old problems from the past, old Johnny. I don't know. I'm just using that name, but trying to give her a call back.
I want to be that dude calling her.
Dude, but good song. Like she's an underrated songwriter because her songs, and I've said this since Hair Salon, right? She finds a way to make pop country, but good pop country.
She tells a story
She
in
does.
it's not like a direct story though.
Right.
It's like she tells a story in a somewhat indirect way. Like Hair Salon, Hair Salon's about the gossip in a hair salon. This is a story originated from a phone call with no caller ID.
Right.
It's just a good way to tell a story.
And she's able to employ good hooks in the songs too, like using things like Hair Salon for a good hook, using No Caller ID, good hook. The melodies are pleasing. Her vocal is one of my favorite female vocals in country music right now. Her and Morgan Wade both.
For some reason, I love the line. I'm sure you're sure I'll pick up. I don't know why I like
It's the double use of sure.
Yeah. I don't know why I like it.
Knock on wood. No, I mean, she does a very good job of writing and not saying too much. You fill in the gaps.
Yes.
What good authors do, good songwriters do.
But
You
it's
don't
still, but
over-explain.
the story is still very
Yeah.
clear.
It leaves room.
The story
for,
is still very
when
clear.
you leave some room, it leaves room to relate to your own life. When you get too
She doesn't
specific-
say what, like she. It's clear the guy was a problem, but she doesn't say what the problem was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it leaves it open to relate to your own
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Like I've been like very, very big on Megan Maroney since Hair Salon. You guys have too. We've been, we've kind of, not to be the hipsters here, we were kind of in on Megan Maroney's music before
Yeah, bro.
Tennessee Orange and it blew up. But her record was really good. This is No Caller ID is another example of her having very like good pop country. Like, and I don't mean pop country as an insult like a lot of people do on the internet, because Dolly Parton made pop country, but it was good pop country. Yeah. Like she makes good pop country. There's like a little bit of pop flavor on a otherwise country song, and using the steel guitar, as Andy said, her vocal's good. The songwriting was good. No complaints from my end on this one whatsoever.
So two final thoughts. One, Andy, as we talked about, well done on the single album art. Once again, a lot of thought into it. Two,
sitting out there. Oh, we gotta
just
remember the listener can't see it.
Oh yes,
she's
that's true, yes.
She's sitting there nighttime, like
Gazing.
kind of like holding on to her legs, gazing out the window. Presumably, the cell phone's nearby, and that no caller ID had popped up.
Yes, in deep thought.
Yeah, deep thought, questioning things.
Yes. Last thought is none of her songs are snow jobs. Says nothing, only words.
Oh yeah,
Snow job.
yeah, like yeah.
A lot of songs are just snow jobs.
I did not know what a snow job was.
You know, they never taught you that in like English class.
And
you
he used to
write-
sleep in English class.
When
He
you used to-
legit
when you used-
slept every morning.
When you used to have to write, my teacher used to always be like,
We had, what was it, first or second period?
First.
Yeah, senior year. Andy was always asleep.
Yeah, it says nothing, only words. Doesn't have any meaning to it.
Yeah, I mean it's a good analogy.
It's a snow job.
Good point.
All right, next up, there was a. This one hasn't been officially released. It's on YouTube. It was a performance recorded on an iPhone video from Zach Bryan, a song called "The Way Back." This is the first time we've kind of covered one of his songs that it hasn't been like officially done in the studio and released on Spotify, so on and so forth. I don't have a whole lot, I guess I can say specifically, just because it is a little bit harder to understand the lyrics because it's recorded on a phone.
Yeah.
And the way he's singing, it's
It fades
it's a piano
when he
ballad.
turns his face, the volume
It
changes.
fades a little bit, and then it's almost like he's not mumbling totally, but it's almost like he's mumbling compared to when you're singing directly into a mic in the studio. I'd like to hear this when it fully gets like recorded and released some point inevitably in the future. But you know, the songwriting in this was good from what I could tell. I loved the imagery. I will say it sounds like it's a story about someone leaving.
Yeah.
Someone leaving. I don't know if it's a father, a son. We tend to lean towards the father, right? Like
Yeah.
running off with another woman.
Leaving a family.
Leaving
It does
a
mention
family.
a family.
And I think that it's funny with the imagery, the car that he used and the state champs. It says state champs sticker in the back right, 83 to 85. But using a Trans Am and somebody with a state champ sticker still on their Trans Am is pretty much pointing towards someone who's very irresponsible. Because you think of a Trans Am as being like the drunk uncle who comes rolling up on Thanksgiving and doesn't want to spill his driving whiskey. That's pretty much what you think of with a Trans Am with somebody. But then also the state champ sticker, like you're still hanging on to high school, bro.
Yeah.
Like the peaked in high school kind of guy.
See, I don't think this is present day.
No,
No,
well,
I don't either.
I don't
because
think
he
it's set in the
mentioned-
80s, though.
'Cause
I
he
think
says-
that it's beyond the 80s because this is someone with that.
Well, he mentions a Kodachrome, which is like an early picture or colored picture camera.
Yeah, but they might just have that. But
It may be, yeah.
But he-
state
like-
champs 83 to 85 means that it's beyond that date.
And what I think helps date it too, though, is he said like somebody's smoking in the kitchen.
Yeah.
People quit smoking indoors a long
Right.
time, and Tom and Jerry's on the front room television,
Tom and Jerry was playing when we were kids.
and
though.
people don't call it the front room anymore.
I
don't
think this is more like a flashback than
Yeah,
It,
like
it,
a music
a
video. for this
flashback
could
to
be,
him leaving, maybe.
it,
or a
it is,
flashback as a
but
child, maybe.
we have to acknowledge this is at minimum in the 90s.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's beyond someone that was a high school football star from 83 to 85. It's beyond that.
Yeah,
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe. Kind of hard to say here.
If that
Yeah.
line wasn't in it, I would be 100% on board with what y'all were saying. But
Yeah.
because of that one detail, it has to minimum be in the 90s. And you would think that somebody who was 83 to 85, say they're 85, we're breaking this down in much more detail than people probably would be like, we don't care, bro. But like if it was 85, you're 18, say you and your high school sweetheart get pregnant, you get married. And then when they're 5 years old, 6 years old, probably around
Old enough
1990.
to have a cognitive memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 5 or 6, so around like 1990, the high school quarterback cheats on his wife and runs off and is with the state champ sticker on the back of his Trans Am.
Yeah.
Leaves his little boy watching Tom and Jerry's while somebody's smoking in the front room.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's basically him later on having the memory of that.
Yeah.
I like how what I like
Yeah.
about Zach Bryan is like his lines are so good. You don't like with the video, it's almost hard to hear the whole song, but some of his lines just stand out so much it grabs your attention.
It does, yeah.
I love the piano too.
I do too. I like that this is a piano. I hope it stays a piano ballad
Yeah,
in the
it
studio.
reminds me a little bit like Jake's piano.
Yeah, maybe add a little bit more like flourishes with some other instrumentation in and out. But I hope this stays primarily a piano ballad.
I think most of the stuff that's on his albums has been on YouTube at some point, and then he records them.
Yeah,
not everything makes
Deep
an
Satin
album.
was like that
Yeah.
because you wrote an article when we used to actually blog more a while back about that was your song of the month that year or that month, and then that one hadn't been released yet.
Yeah,
But
So I'm gonna take this a different way. His camera flips over mid-song. I want to know how many psychopaths are out there trying to figure out where that is.
yeah,
Like, you know how like when you see like CIA videos, they take
Right.
literally everything off the wall, so you can't like identify a picture in another room when they have like a prisoner or something. And they don't want them to be able to identify where they're at because there are insane folks on the internet. Somebody's gonna find out where he's at.
my guess is an Airbnb in the Northeast,
you think it's in the Northeast?
Pennsylvania. And he spends a lot of time in the Northeast,
Yeah,
like New York City,
his
Pennsylvania.
girlfriend lives in New
Maybe
York
it's
now.
well decorated to be an Airbnb though.
Yeah, I mean the big skylight at the top of the ceiling.
He's got money though. He stays in the nice Airbnbs.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could be his house.
could be his house.
Could
For
be
all you know,
Oklahoma.
that could be Oklahoma. Yeah.
Like I said, that's the first thing I thought about when the phone flipped over. I was like, "There's going to be some psychopath." Well, this looks ultra like retrofitted
Yeah.
modern townhome.
'Cause
you
before
can
it
see the
flip-
brick wall with the conduit
Yeah.
on the wall.
And before it flips over, you know, in the background, there it looks like there's steps up and there's a loft up there.
Yeah.
Look what we're looking at right now. That it looks like that is the loft. But yeah, my neurotic mind just went to be like, who is going to be the psychopath that finds this house on the internet
Honestly,
based off this picture that says what something random.
when I was watching it though, I was like, "This is a nice house. I really
Yeah,
like
it
this
is a nice
place.
house.
Yeah, it is a nice
It
house.
looks sick."
Nice track lights with the skylight, yeah. But yeah, I just some psychopath, not literally psychopath, but just
It could be a literal
Yeah,
psychopath.
hopefully not, but yeah, somebody's gonna find this. Like somebody's gonna,
Especially if it's an Airbnb.
yeah, because somebody will have stayed there,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and he's big enough where he touches many corners of the earth and the internet.
Yeah. I'm interested to hear this when it gets recorded.
actually, now that I think about it, it probably is his house.
I could see
What
that.
are the odds of him staying in an Airbnb that has a piano in it, and he just happens to have a song that he wants to record on a piano?
I mean, I don't know.
That sounds pretty unlikely.
Probably, but I'm
He'd have
sure
to know
there are
there's a piano.
pianos at an Airbnbs. But yeah, it's more than likely it probably is his house.
Nice crib, bro.
Nice crib.
Yeah.
Get on MTV.
Yeah.
MTV cribs.
It's a throwback to a different time.
Like this song.
Yeah, true enough.
Touche.
But yeah, check that song out. Let us know what you think. Leave us a voicemail. Link in the description. Just click here to leave us a voicemail. Check out the 1789. Check out Chloe Wilson Music NC. Obviously, Mikele Buck Band. You're royally screwing up if you don't go listen to these guys. If you're a country music fan, you need to be listening to them. Morgan Wade and Megan Maroney songs also very killer. But yeah, in person pod, boys.
Well done. 161,000 views, 23 hours. That a boy.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
nice
hell of a
mint-
lot of
that's
views
a
in
nice
one day.
mint for you.
Yeah, not even a full day.
Yeah, that's nice. Nice chunk of change coming his way.
Yeah. All right. Well, give us 5 stars and a great review. That's the show this week. See you next time.
Take care.